Isolated indigenous man returns to tribe in the Amazon rainforest after brief contact. Associated Press. A young man from an isolated indigenous tribe who approached a riverine community in Brazil's Amazon returned voluntarily to his people less than 24 hours later, Brazilian authorities said. Officials from Brazil's Indigenous Affairs Agency, FUNAI, arrived soon after and took him to a nearby facility. As a policy, Brazil does not actively seek contact with these groups but instead establishes protected and monitored areas, such as Mamoria Grande, near where the encounter occurred. Below are your comments. I studied the Yanomamo of Brazil in our cultural anthropology class. In 1975, Kenneth Good married Urimi, a Yano in Venezuela. 00. Her life changed dramatically as he took her to the States. She eventually returned to the jungle because fast, advanced life was too much for her. In my literate. Your circa. See more. It's kind of cool that they live that way, but I wonder how many die super young from infections and minor things that modern medicine could take care of easily. Other than that, I'm sure their stress level is non-existent, at least the way we experience it. There have been organized societies in the Amazon going back a few thousand years. I find it admirable that the Brazilians have policies to protect indigenous from extinction given the level of deforestation and greed that's occurring in this pristine and fragile environment that is one of the major pumps that stabilizes and controls weather patterns. I would assume that there are also studies of these peoples to learn their genetic origin, organization, bleep, and linguistics comparable to other societies on our planet. Guy had the right plan, saw modern society and said, forget this, I'm going back in the woods. It's striking that someone was unable to teach him how to use a lighter. I'm sure he got the idea of the sparks, but probably could not connect with the idea of a flammable gas being released by holding down the thumb rest button. Still, it's just as well as the traveler did not take modern technology back with him and contaminate their tribe and their beliefs and their need for continued isolation. What a remarkable way to live. Stay as far away from the civilized world as possible for as long as possible. In lots of ways, people like this are luckier than the rest of us these days. I know that sounds crazy, but just think about the world as it is now. These people need to be left alone to live their lives the way they want. I am very impressed with Brazil's policy of leaving the indigenous people alone in their natural calm communities but making those areas protected, but monitored. Seems like a well thought out solution. Don't teach him how to use a lighter. That thing will eventually run out of fluid. He needs to keep his fire starting bleep intact. His survival depends on it. So they wanted to see if he had been exposed to any diseases. Chances are he was, even if the people he came close to weren't actively sick. And knowing about it after the fact won't make any difference. So there's a good chance he might have just wiped out his tribe. In the 1960s, the Brazilian government used to drop blankets contaminated with smallpox to indigenous tribes they discovered in the jungle. At least they don't do that anymore. He took one look at the modern world and said, "Nope, let's go back." He watched everyone on their phones and decided to get out while he could. Wasn't aware there was a great eclipse in the Amazon. He is probably way happier than those living in the civilized world, let him be. A magnesium firestarter will last him a lifetime, forget the lighter. Fascinating and beautiful to know how well he was taken care of and respected. I wish American tribes were ever afforded the same luxury. The price of eggs in the civilized world were just too high. One of the meek that shall inherit the earth, so I'm glad some respect and protection is provided to them. I would have gone back too. I still find it mind-boggling that there are folks in this world that live like that. Brazil has a good policy for them. 24 hours was enough for him to run away from this madness. He took one look at the outside world and decided to go back. Smart kid. I just hope he and his people will survive this short encounter with the developed world. Great choice, young man, I'd go back too. Now those are the truly free people. Meanwhile, the rest of the tribe was fitted with KC 2025 Super Bowl champions clothing. United Healthcare will be sending him a bill for the medical checkup. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.